Good day, my loves. Good day. How are you doing? I hope you are well. I hope you have peace of mind. I hope that someone told you that they loved you. And if they did not, and you're like me, I love you. Okay? Forgive me, I just woke up. Well, no, not really. That was a lie. It's 7:41 in the morning and it is 11:30. 7:41 in the morning, but today's date is 11:30. And I literally have not really been to sleep. I haven't been to sleep. I haven't been to sleep. Not really. I think in total, I may have slept like 3 hours, hence the bags under my beautiful eyes. Okay? Anywho, I haven't been able to record since the day after the day we all gathered, right? And so this is going to be my official video only because I understand, overstand, and understand it now. So I've been off the smoking wagon probably as literally since my nephew been home. I recall the day. Even that time I asked my bro him for, a little nugget. I still didn't have the desire after that was gone or anything like that, right? But that day my nephew got here and my brother came over and brought the girls. Y'all remember that video? Remember that video I talked about that? Or maybe I didn't. I don't know. I know I wrote about it. But maybe I didn't maybe I didn't do a video about it. But anyway, that date is very poignant. That date is very telling. That time frame is very telling. I don't know if I told y'all about it. I think I did, but I was laughing about it because it was like, okay, it was so ridiculous that it even happened. Okay, so let me fast forward so I can give you a real time. This is a real time account of black magic, okay? And what the divine, the chosen ones will go through. And this is what it looks like. This is no judgment. This is just what it's going to look like. And fortunately, and when we're in our 3D mind, unfortunately, it is going to come from the people that are closest to you. And understand, it's this energy. This is nothing that they're going to come right out and say. This is nothing that they're going to come right out and do, to a certain extent. But the energy, I remember writing about it that day. The energy was so palpable. And I felt it shift. I did. And then I recognized that day for what it was. So I know in my journal I wrote, because it's still fresh on my mind, that I saw how the enemy, the negative energy, the devil energy, worked its way through a positive encounter. So they say not all that glitters is gold, okay? And sometimes the enemy will come through in a way where you think it's positive, but it's actually mass to get you caught up. Okay? I learned that because it was a positive encounter after a negative one. And after I started back smoking, and it was a positive encounter. I didn't go through the ashtray or nothing like that. It was a positive encounter after a negative one. But that was a way that the devil came back in. Why? Because me smoking after that, it was like a need inside. Mind you, for 2 months, I hadn't been. I hadn't been. I hadn't asked or nothing, except that one time. But it's been such a strong, and I felt this before, but I didn't tie it in to events, happenings, and whatever. You know, I was always looking for a trigger, because that's what it was. It was a positive trigger. It was a positive trigger. And not all triggers are bad. Triggers are things that help, that make you what we consider to be a relapse, but it's not a relapse, okay? Because you're learning. As long as you're paying attention and you are aware of who you are and what your goal is and what you want to achieve, then you are aware of your own behaviors and your own thoughts, and you are pinpointing and categorizing your triggers. And I had never had a positive trigger before, or one that I had categorized and characterized. I never did. Not one that I paid attention to. But because I've been journaling pretty much every day, it was like ding, 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 ding. And so today I got my confirmation that I need to stop smoking, which I got that a couple of days ago, because as I'm rewatching my videos to take notes and stuff from the hiatus time frame, I watched a video where I talked about smoking and how I said that it was a hindrance to my spiritual gifts and your spiritual gifts. And I know that. But it's like I had to go through it again. And I hate repeating lessons. I really do. I really, really do. But sometimes we have to. And so I wrote in my journal just now, I got my confirmation via Per Lucky what energy smoking is bringing. So it's time to quit. That's what I just wrote. I did. I just wrote that. Look, right there at the bottom. I wrote that. And so this is my confessional video, but it's a lesson in the confession. Always. Every time I tell you something about myself that I feel is personal, that I feel is too much, and and I feel, sometimes when I feel like, okay, don't say that, then I have to say it, because I know it's not me not wanting to say it. It's ego, it's negative energy, it's whomever is throwing black magic, whoever doesn't want me to tell the truth. Because there's a lot of people that don't want me to tell my story, because there's a lot of people that, it's my story though. And you can't stop me. I won't allow anyone to stop me. Now, I have learned along the way that there's a way and a will to say certain things. And maybe that's a message for you too. So, take heed to that. Because I didn't realize, how harsh I was coming off. Even though it was the truth. Wasn't a lie. It's never going to be a lie. I'm going to say it how it happened. And 9 times out of 10, I wrote it down. Especially these past 3 years, I wrote it down. Because I was trying to make sense of everything. So yeah, y'all, I have been, and then Thanksgiving was here, so it was like, okay. But I knew it was okay then. Because I asked. But now I know, okay, that lesson is over. I got the information I needed to help me better myself and reach my highest self. Not me being high, but my conscious being the highest of my conscious. And that means, purifying the body again. Because I had some meat too. I hadn't had meat in years. I'm talking about I had some meat. I had two. Y'all, I don't know. I felt it this day. I wrote about it, and one day I'll read it to y'all. But I wrote about it because the energy was so strong for me to eat some meat. And y'all, I obliged because I wanted to, but also because I really wanted to see what would happen. And so that whole day, that whole weekend was about, let me see what happened. Let me see what's going to happen. I was testing my body. And I did not get sick. I got heavier, but I didn't get sick. I had 2 fried chicken sandwiches left over from whole chickens that were deep fried for the day we all gathered. Yeah. And I'm saying the day we all gathered intentionally. Okay? So when I go off the wagon, I go hard. I'm not making light of it. I'm not making light of it at all. But you gotta laugh at yourself. You really do. Cause I'm reviewing everything that happened that weekend. I'm talking about what I consumed. I didn't consume any alcohol though. That's a kudos. Sometimes you gotta give yourself the smallest kudos, you hear me? Cause that fried turkey, and oh my God. And so y'all, this is really going to show you. I'm telling you, what I am describing is black magic. Because it's an energy. It's an energy. Black magic is energy. Spiritual warfare is energy. It is toxic behaviors that cause us not to be our highest conscience, our higher selves, which is the better version of who we are currently. Now, you may say to yourself that you good and all that stuff, and I get it. I do. I promise you I do. But there's always another level. There's always another level. There's always something that you don't know that you could possibly learn that you need. I have this saying, and I think I heard it somewhere. I'm not quite sure where, though. You don't know what you don't know until you know that you didn't know it. You see? You don't know what you don't know until you realize you didn't know it. Because we all don't know everything. We like to think so, especially as it pertains to us. I'm not talking about out there in the world, because that would just be foolish to think that we know everything that goes out in the world. What I'm talking about is we believe that we know everything about ourselves, and we don't. We don't. Especially if you have not awakened to your spiritual self. I'm not talking about your religious self. I'm not talking about the person that go to church. I'm not talking about the person that can quote Bible verses. I'm not talking about that person. I was that person. I couldn't quote no Bible verses to you like that. But I was that person that thought that they knew everything about themselves until I awakened to who I am spiritually. And in the spiritual realm, I'm a beast. I am very powerful. And in order for me to pull that power down, I have to become the better version of myself. And so today, 11:30, I to do the numerology on that. So that's 1, 2, that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, that just makes me smile hard. That just makes me smile real hard. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. I just had to give myself that moment, y'all, and y'all were just able to witness it. So, and I'm okay with that. Y'all have seen me cry, so it don't even matter what you see now. Well, it do matter. It do matter. But just know that anytime I reveal myself and what I'm going through in my story, the ones that don't put me in the best of light, like admitting that my veganism went off the road for a minute. And to be completely honest, I haven't been completely vegan. Like, I have not eaten any meat, that's true. But sometimes I still use margarine. What else? I'm trying to think. I haven't eaten any regular cheese. But let me think. Butter too. I love butter. But I'm about to rectify that too. But yeah, I haven't eaten meat. So when I got that craving and how strong it was, I felt it. But I asked permission. And throughout the entire day, I prayed over that food. Every time I ate it, I prayed over it. Oh, but what I was about to tell y'all, this what really I knew was just crazy. So my mom makes her dressing, and her dressing is famous, right? And I asked her to make me a pot without meat, without a pan without meat. Had a whole conversation with my niece, and she was like, well, I'm going to call Nana and let her know to use, because mind you, I wasn't involved in none of the preparation or anything like that. But she was like, well, I'm going to call Nana and ask her to make sure she said, well, you need to call her and make sure she use vegetable broth, right? I said, well, I don't have a phone. She said, well, I'll call her. And I said, well, call her right now. And she was like, I forget what she said, but she was like, oh, no, I'm going to see her later. That's what she said. And she said, I'll tell her then. So I come over. Well, my mama come over. And I knew the setup. And it's an energetic setup. Understand, overstand, understand. By me describing these scenarios, knowing what I know now, the devil energy will use those around you. So when they are doing things or saying things to you that hurt you, that belittle you, that try to minimize who you are as a person, because you are a light that shines very bright in the light and the dark, okay? So if the devil energy, if negative energy, if the people that thrive off of negative energy and use our anger and frustration and bitterness and sadness and depression and anxiety as a battery to fuel them, then it is safe to say that those types of toxic behaviors must go away, right? And so I laughed at myself because I caught it. I see it. And now that I see it, I can't unsee it. It's already been filed away in one of my filing cabinets. It's already been. Because that's now another piece of the puzzle. I got the first piece when I called out the behavior in my other video. And I'm going to reference it below. I called out the behavior in that video. Maybe if I can find it, because I don't, if I posted it already, I may not. No, I don't think I posted it already. I don't think so. I don't know. We'll see when it's time for me to post this one. But yeah. Oh, so I asked my mom to make mind you, I felt the energy, to be clear, I felt the energy before my nephew came home. I felt it, and it was very strong, but it wasn't, it was like diluted strong, okay? And so that day came, went, and so now fast forward to the day we gathered, and I asked my mom to make me a side without meat, because she puts chicken sausage in it. And it's this chicken sausage that's no preservatives or anything. And it's made by this lady here at the, what is it, the sausage? What's her name? She's down there where my old barber was located, downtown. I can't think of it right now. Maddie's, she makes this chicken meatloaf that I never got the pleasure to try, and maybe hopefully one day I shall try it on one of those days, but right now, no. But anywho, I prayed over it, because I watched a guru say that if he was offered meat, even though he doesn't eat it, he would still eat it. And I was curious as to why, if it went against his beliefs. And it dawned on me even just now that beliefs can be changed, okay? Because I once believed in a certain thing that held me in bondage and held me hostage. But I've since broken free of that, right? And so I was curious as to his explanation as to why. And he said, because the animal is already dead. It already gave its life. And he went on to say some other things. And so, in honor of the animal's life, he said in his everyday life he doesn't. But if he went to a dignitary's house or et cetera, now of course you do what you need to do, but he said on certain circumstances he would. But I did ask permission. Let me just let y'all be clear. Before I partook in any smoking that day, before I partook in any eating of that day, I asked permission if it was okay. I did. And I asked it several times, because I was like, y'all sure? You sure? But I asked. And that is why I didn't get sick. Now, I felt full and I felt stuffed, but I didn't get sick. And if you watched any of my videos, I get sick. Not the meat, but the bread and all that, and the fact that I hadn't eaten meat though. I've eaten fish like probably 2 months ago. I did eat some grilled fish because I went over to a neighbor's house. This was before even I heard what that man said. Oh, that just tied it in. Thank you. Okay. So this just ties in what I just said. That's how my memory works. That's how God got me wired. So about a month or so ago, my neighbor had a little shindig and invited me to come. I was like, okay, I'll come over. Went over. I think it was his birthday. It was his birthday. Old man, old nice man. Although energetically I can't fool with him, and I just real got that message, or actually I seen the red flags when it happened, and I ignored it because he's old. You see how we do? But I can't ignore the energy signature, and that's the thing. I gotta look past what the avatar looks like and what the avatar says and does, and feel the energy. And I felt the energy. I felt it in a few ways. But anywho, I went over there, celebrated. He had his sisters and them there and all that other stuff. His brother was there. His daughter came through. It was nice. It was really nice. I got to see, because he has a lot of siblings. And he got none but girls. He got 4 girls. No boys. Karma. And he knows it too. I've said it to him. But anywho, I get over there and I was just all planning on to eat a salad. And he had grilled me some fish. And I thought that was just sweet gesture. I ate it. But please be mindful about whose food you eat. I didn't get sick. Let me not say it like that, because me saying that part is like hinting at something, and I'm not hinting at anything. I didn't get sick. The food was delicious. He even made me a salad with some, it was good, because the salad he had on the table had meat in it. So he actually made me a salad and it was good. Salad dressing wasn't vegan and it was not gluten-free. So things like that along with the butter, okay? But I'm getting there. But, so I ate it. I didn't get sick. But energetically, if no one wants to see you ascend, because 9 times out of 10, that means that you will leave. When you ascend, people, places, and things that resonated when you were in your lower self and your lower vibration no longer resonate with you. And when they no longer resonate with you, you go through a grieving process, because you are literally dying. You're shedding that old skin. You're shedding that old light, right? I said that old light. In a essence, in a sense, because you are already glowing even in your darkest days. But now it's time to shed that old light. You know how, like, when you're in, you move into a place, and the lighting is dull, so you go get a brighter bulb. That is who you are. You are to shine brighter than what you are right now. And sometimes the people, places, and things that you have around you are there spiritually to dull your light. Now you must remember and learn to separate the avatar from the spiritual energy that resides in that avatar. Okay? They're not one and the same if they are not awakened to who they are spiritually. However, always an exception. And this is where God, your honorable ancestors, and your own intuition and your own spiritual gifts, because they can't do it by themselves. You got to play a part. Remember, this is free will. So if you're not being blocked and you're not under black magic, and even if you are still aware to some extent. So don't ignore the red flags just because it's an old man. You sense the energy. You sense it. And if you haven't yet paid attention to your senses, then your honorable ancestors will step in and send you situations and circumstances that are not so pleasant for you to pay attention to, right? And if you don't listen to them, then God will step in. And there will be a tower for you to get the lesson, for you to pay attention. That's what my life has been about. God saying, pay attention. Pay attention. Even though when I was sleepwalking up until I was 30, before the black magic and stuff really kicked in, my intuition was good because my heart was pure. So I was moving purely off who I was as a person, not knowing anything about spirituality, not knowing anything about twin flame journey, not knowing anything, not understanding what karma is. I didn't. But now that I do, I move a little different. I have to. It's a necessity. And it's a necessity in your life. Whether you realize it now or not. Listen, I'm still learning. So I'm still learning. I'm still learning. But for whatever reason, God had me on a fast pace. God had me on the accelerated course. I was on a fast track, y'all. And I remember saying it because them towers kept hitting. Like, it was like, what? Towers can be anything from an argument that reveals a truth to finding the love of your life and not thinking that it was possible. So they go the spectrum. A tower is not always something that's negative, is all I mean to say. So I wanted to give you extremes. But yeah. So today I don't know why I don't do it on because I hold it with the other hand. At 8:13 in the morning, I'm about to have a couple of sleepless nights. Insomnia is always my biggest thing when I'm not smoking, but it only lasts for a couple of nights until my body becomes acclimated. I've not slept my whole life really, so I do enjoy a nap. But I can do it sober. So I'm not eating meat. I'm not. And it was good, but I didn't miss it. I really didn't. And I guess I had to experience to realize that. Because I didn't miss it. I really didn't. I purposely slowed my eating to taste it and all that stuff. Because when I say I made it, I made it. It wasn't no just turkey on some bread, no. I put my bread in a pan with some butter. I did. I went all out. And the fact that I was not in any pain, y'all, told me that I was supposed to experience it. But I asked permission first. I have to say that. I did. And I got to know a little bit more about black magic, what it looks like, what it feels like, what it smells like,